To this very special edition, greetings on the occasion of Dussehra, the victory of good over evil, and this is celebrated all across Bharatvarsh, ladies and gentlemen. But tonight, and in this very special edition, there is a reason why we've got some people who have seen the fights, who have been through the strife to try and get what they believe is the right of every Hindu in Bharat, that is a temple for Ram Lalla at Ram Janmabhoomi. But ever since that historic court judgment in 2019 and the construction of the Ram Mandir began, and in the coming months in January, we are given to understand any time between the 18th and the 24th of January, there will be not just the Pran Pratishtha but also the proper puja of the first level being ready of the temple. What does this mean? What does this imply? Is it all over after that political fight, or was that just the beginning? Joining us on this very special conversation, and I'll start from the far end, Karthik Chopra, lawyer and also representative of the Nirmohi Akhada, and they were one of the parties who were long drawn court battle, but through centuries, members of the Akhada have been part of trying to protect that entire sacred space. Hari Shankar Jain ji today needs no introduction because him and his son Vishnu Shankar Jain have championed perhaps the cause legally of a lot of core issues for Hindus. Swami Dipankar is out there in the thick of things, getting and urging everybody to rise above their respective caste breakups and just promise to remain a Hindu. And right next to me is a person, an author, historian, whose book in 2015 talked about being Hindu. And now he's just written another book, Soul and the Sword. So political Hinduism comes from Hindol Sen Gupta. So namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you very much for your time. अब मैं रुकता हूँ, आप शुरू हो जाइए, and let's have this conversation amidst all of us. Hari Shankar Jain ji, I'd like you to start. What was centuries long fight and perhaps decades long legal fight came to fruition in favor of the Hindu Paksh in 2019. अब ये भव्य राम मंदिर का निर्माण हो रहा है. Is it anywhere an issue or perhaps is there more to it?
देखिए, सबसे पहले बताऊं, I am one of the fortunate person who has been fighting for Ram Janmabhoomi cause in court as advocate since 1989 to 2019, from High Court to Supreme Court. And a lot of things went. उस समय 1992 और 1990 we were saying राम लला आएंगे, मंदिर वहीं बनाएंगे, सौगंध राम की खाते हैं, बच्चा राम का. तो all the people were laughing कि what foolish thing you are saying, it can never happen, you can never remove the so-called mask. And we are adamant that this symbol of slavery must go, and we will banish it and we will construct a Bhavya Ram Mandir. Now the time has come in my life, I am very happy. First thing. And not only simple temple, actually it is the beginning of a Hindu Rashtra. We have laid down the foundation stone for a Hindu Rashtra. And you will see that after January 2024, the movement of Hindu Rashtra will rise. And we will, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, the time will come. Then Hindu Rashtra will come. We do not want this secular India. Actually, because this secularism, due to this, for 70 years in free India, we have to fight for the cause of Ram temple. A just cause, we were not given that Bhumi. Had it not been come to Supreme Court.
No, look, I mean, the law and the law of the land is very clear. We have an existing constitution. Now, whether the constitution is to be changed or not, I cannot comment on that matter. That is a matter for an entirely different set of people. This has to be debated in Parliament and so on and so forth. I don't want to go there. As of today, we have a composite society. In this composite society, quite like in America, and we need to understand this with nuance. I would plea for nuance. In America, sitting presidents of America have breakfast prayer meetings, the nature of which is Christian. There are sitting British prime ministers who on Easter and on other functions clearly said Britain is a Christian nation. However, that doesn't mean that everyone is not included. The nature of its governance, body polity, so to speak, or its societal nature is Christian. However, everyone is included in that and everybody has space in that. This is true for modern day Britain as it is true for modern day America. Please understand, Anand, the world's largest temple has just been inaugurated in America, not in India.
Robbinsville, yeah.
In Robbinsville, right? Beautiful, absolutely marvelous. But America, no American president has ever been anything but Christian. So they have built an inclusive society, even though the nature of that society in many ways remains Christian. I think the nature, in a sense, of India's societal, texture, if I may call it that, is Hindu. But I think India has always been a place that has included everyone. Remember, one place in the world where the Jews were never persecuted was India. So I think that nature, I think you're right in pointing out, it is the strength of our composite society, as it is the strength of America's composite society, that makes it the richest country in the world. Our composite society allows us to grow at the pace that we are growing, right? We should maintain that composite society. But as far as societal texture is concerned, it is true that our societal texture and our festivities and many other things is essentially Hindu.
But then before I bring in Karthik and Swami Dipankar, the fact is that when the American president takes oath on the Bible,
yes,
the Indian Prime Minister takes oath on the Constitution. Correct. We are clear. But the American president goes to church, it becomes a headline, devout Christian and his Christian beliefs and his vows. But when we have the Indian Prime Minister or our Prime Minister sit there and do a havan or a puja, then he is a bigot and he is a
fascist. But I think that has
fascist.
changed. I think what you're saying is used to be true. I think that has changed greatly. In fact, the sitting Indian Prime Minister did in fact do a great havan when the work on the Bhavya temple, the Ram Mandir began, right? And it was broadcast live, I'm sure also in your channel. Everybody saw it. That dichotomy that there used to be there, that when the incumbent Prime Minister won and he went to a temple in his constituency, somebody said, oh, but why didn't he go to the mosque next door? Yeah. But why should he? He's not a Muslim. So, at the end of the day, this kind of silly conversation, I think that has ended in our country. We are at a very different phase of our journey. We are now at a phase where we consider ourselves a civilizational nature. And when we say a civilizational, country, what do we mean by a civilizational nation? A civilizational nation for us is Hindu civilization.
Hindu civilization.
That's our core civilization. But that civilization is inclusive, has always been inclusive, and ought to remain inclusive for us to really, become the Vishwaguru that we aim to become.
True. But, Harishankar ji, yeah.
We have seen more than 800 years slavery. The atrocities, the type of rule what was done, but I will not underrate all the things. So now we have to rise and we have to take strong action against that. We can't sit idle. There is no cause of civilization and this मीठी बात मेरे समझ नहीं आती. भाई सीधी बात है कि हिंदू राष्ट्र बनना है, हिंदू की बात करना है, तब दब के नहीं कर सकते. कब हिंदू रहेंगे सब रहेंगे, सब कैसे रहेंगे, हो ही नहीं सकता. हिंदू राष्ट्र का मतलब हुआ हिंदू पद्धति से, हिंदू धर्म के हिसाब से रहेंगे. हमारे अधिकार ऊपर होंगे और वो अधिकार नीचे होंगे. हमारे अधिकार वोटिंग हो सकते हैं, दूसरे के नहीं हो सकते. डरने की क्या बात है? आप हिंदू राज बनाइए और डर के बनाइए. भाई फियर, भाई फियरफुल. और अमेरिका को कोट करे, ब्रिटेन को कोट करे. वी आर नॉट, आई एम नॉट फूल. मैं अमेरिका ब्रिटेन को कोट नहीं करता. ना फॉरेन को, दूसरे को हम यूरोपियन कंट्री देखने जाते हैं. हमारी आदत है हर चीज में यूरोपियन कंट्री देखते हैं जैसे वो आदर्श है. वी आर आइडियल. हमको आप फॉलो कीजिए. भाई शुड आई फॉलो यू? हमारे वेद और शास्त्र आपसे पुराने हैं, ये तो आप चले आए हैं, तो भाई शुड आई फॉलो? तो मेरा मतलब है कि हमारा हिंदू राष्ट्र बनेगा तो उसमें वो क्लियरिटी होगी और उस हिंदू राष्ट्र में दूसरे को स्थान नहीं होगा. नथिंग लाइक माइनॉरिटी, ओनली एंड ओनली हिंदू. हिंदू एक शब्द कहो, हिंदू ही आगे, बाकी क्या अधिकार होंगे तो डिसाइड होगा बाद में. पर सर्टेनली द राइट्स विल बी सबऑर्डिनेट टू राइट्स ऑफ हिंदूज.
सो दैट्स योर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. यहाँ पे विचार अलग अलग हो सकते हैं, पर एक चर्न हम भारत में देख रहे हैं. इस पर तो कोई भी मतभेद नहीं है. स्वामी दीपांकर, व्हाट आर यू सीइंग ऑन ग्राउंड? लेट मी आस्क यू. सबसे पहले तो आपको साधुवाद. देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ रिस्पॉन्स दैट यू आर गेटिंग, जो आपको खुद अपेक्षित नहीं था, दैट्स द काइंड ऑफ रिस्पॉन्स यू गेटिंग ऑन ग्राउंड। तो बताइए, वेयर डू यू स्टैंड इस राम मंदिर के बनने से, इस निर्माण से, या जब से ये आपको लग रहा है कि देयर इज अ हिंदू रेनेसांस, देयर इज अ कमिंग बैक टू आस्था, और परहैप्स खुल के बोलने वाली बात?
मुझे प्राउड फील होता है आनंद भैया कि मेरे गुरु इस आंदोलन का हिस्सा रहे, और अब वो नहीं है, 2 साल पहले वो शरीर छोड़ चुके हैं। उनकी अलमीरा खोल कर देखा तो बहुत सारे कागज मुझ पर गिरे, उसमें FIR नंबर उनके नाम का देख रहा था। तो मुझे खुशी होती है कि तमाम नदियां जिसमें आकर गिरे वो सिंधु हैं हम, हमें गर्व है स्वयं पर, हिंदू हैं हम। ऋषि सोनक आकर कहते हैं आई एम प्राउड हिंदू। अमेरिकन प्रेसिडेंट पद की कैंडिडेट कहती हैं तुलसी गबाड़ आई एम प्राउड हिंदू। स्वामी विवेकानंद ने उस समय कहा आई एम प्राउड हिंदू, नॉट अ सेक्युलर, आई एम प्राउड हिंदू। और देश के स्वर्गीय प्रधानमंत्री तो कहकर गए हिंदू तन मन, हिंदू जीवन, रग रग हिंदू मेरा परिचय। तो दादा मुझे गर्व है, और गर्व की कोई सीमा नहीं। शायद मुझे लगता है आसमान की 1-2 लेयर हैं, अगर कोई लेयर नहीं होती तो अनंत तक मैं हिंदू होने पर गर्व महसूस कर सकता हूं। मेरे लिए इतना प्राउड का विषय है। और उसको अब देखता हूं सड़कों पर, ऐसी अनंत वीडियो मैं आपको सेंड करूंगा, आप देखिएगा, जिससे पूछा जाए ना कि हम लोग कौन हैं, तो 3 मर्तबा में सामने से हजारों लोगों की आवाज आती है हिंदू हैं, हिंदू हैं, हिंदू हैं। हम सर क्यों कटते हैं, हम लोग क्यों भागते हैं अपनी हकीकत और अपनी असलियत से? कश्मीर छोड़कर यहां से कहां जाए दादा? 57 देश एक कम्युनिटी का, 100 के 90 के लगभग देश एक कम्युनिटी का। हिंदुस्तान के अतिरिक्त मेरा कौन है बताइए? और उस हिंदुस्तान में भी मैं अपनी ही आइडेंटिटी के लिए तरस जाऊं, तो ये तो मुझे लगता है दिस इज नॉट फेयर। मुझे खुशी तब अधिक होती है, जैसे हरिशंकर जी ने कहा कि मैं किसी को क्यों देखूं कि यूरोप क्या, वो कोई हमारे मार्गदर्शन नहीं हो सकते। सर मुझे तब अच्छा लगता है जब मेरा सन्यासी धरती से खड़ा होकर आकाश के तारों की गणना करता है। सर मुझे तब प्राउड फील होता है जब नील्स बोर कहते हैं, क्वांटम की थ्योरी देने वाले व्यक्ति, कि बोले जब मैं कंफ्यूज होता था आई लुक टू उपनिषद। मुझे उस पर प्राउड फील होता है। यहां से सूरज की दूरी का गणना करें तो 15 लाख कुछ मील है, ठीक है? उसकी सूरज की दूरी की गणना को डायमीटर से उसके डिवाइड कर दीजिए तो आता है निकलकर संख्या 108। चंद्रमा की दूरी को चंद्रमा से डायमीटर से डिवाइड कीजिए तो निकलकर संख्या आएगा 108। और सल सूर्य आत्मा का प्रतीक, चंद्रमा मन का प्रतीक, दोनों को साधने की जो क्षमता है उसकी माला का मन का 108। और सर दुख तब होता है जब कोई खड़ा होकर 2000 किलोमीटर से कहे कि सनातन का उन्मूलन कर देना चाहिए। और सर हम लोगों की पुरानी प्रथा है, और उत्तर प्रदेश से हूं, उत्तर ना दूं तो चलेगा नहीं। हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के अधिकांश दशहरों में 3 पुतले की जगह इस बार 4 पुतला जल रहा है, चौथा सनातन विरोधियों का। सर ये नाटक से ऊपर उभरना होगा जी। हम लोग सर नाटक में हम आईवोश खेलना ही नहीं चाहते सर। जो हम हैं हमें रहने दीजिए।
The reality on ground is that the Ram Mandir, when it is ready, everybody will go and pray to Ram Lalla. At that time they'll forget their caste, at that time they'll forget their backgrounds. Their only astha is Ram. Now Ram is a name which is there across any caste level, वर्ण, if you देखें, और कश्मीर से लेकर कन्याकुमारी तक राम बस है, ओके, और भुज से लेकर इस तरफ आप कोहिमा चले जाइए, वहां पर भी राम बस है। So it's Ram is, this name is there everywhere. But the differentiation that happens, people only ask for it, right? In none of our texts is the surname ever mentioned. He is Ramchandra. He is never named as Ram Dashrath. No. He was Dashrath, Raja Dashrath. It was Arjun and it was Krishna. It was Duryodhan. Never their surnames are not there. It's all single names. Never. Even for Sita, even for Draupadi, it's all their names. We now identify ourselves by saying, "Acha surname kya hai?" Don't we do that? True. Is that changing? Till that changes, do you really think that we will be seen and we'll identify ourselves as Hindu? And this whole talk about a Hindu Rashtra will it even happen?
See, when you talk about Hindu Rashtra, let's go back to the constitution. Let's look at the opening, the pictures in there. What is the picture of? Shri Ram? And then the constitution takes off from there.
Yeah.
47 after partition. countries was divided on the basis of religion. The constitution gives you the answer itself. We should have called ourselves a Hindu Rashtra back in 1950 itself. At the time the constitution was out, the photograph is, the pictures are clearly apparent. Our Akhada fought for 491 years from 1528. Historically documented sacrifices. Our saints were slaughtered every time they tried to take the holy ground. Fought in court since 1860. After India was independent in 47, why did we have to fight all the way through in court from 1949 onwards, all the way till the High Court in 2010? And it was only after 2014 when there was a dispensation, political dispensation that came, that was keen to see the end of this long struggle, that we finally got a Supreme Court judgment in 2019. After that, there are so many more sites which we are fighting for. Why should we in Hindustan have to apologize for being Hindus? I am not an apologist for being a Hindu. This is, as Swami Dipankar said, this is the only country, the only land in the world that belongs to us. Where else will we go?
Correct.
And why should we apologize for that? I don't need to put my head down and say, no, we are secular. Everyone is welcome to follow the law of the land. Hence, the next move after this should be moving to a uniform civil code. We must have the end of all these personal laws that different faiths have in this country. You have
But
the
one of the biggest resistance for the common civil code comes from the Hindu samudaya itself.
That is why,
because
if you want to go for this is your opinion, sir. If you want to go for a common identity, you must come together. You are talking about bringing everyone together. You have to give up a lot of things to be able to come to
the argument.
something.
I'll tell you, the argument would be that every other faith has to give up its personal laws, but the Hindu laws which already stand codified, personal laws stand codified, that is what should be followed by everybody else.
Yes,
There's a
absolutely.
reason why for a millennia that we continue to prosper, we continue to thrive and exist with an ecosystem which was largely...
You know, my friend Sanjeev Sanyal says Hinduism is an open source software.
Open
what
source
a wonderful idea, right? That it has the ability. You cannot say in many other systems, you say, oh, this is modern science, I reject. Hinduism says no. Vivekananda said, what can science bring me that I will not accept? You bring it to me. He never said, in Swami Vivekananda's time, a lot of religious people were denying Charles Darwin, for instance, right? Not Vivekananda. He said, sure, Vivekananda went to meet Tesla, right? So here was a man, and he's just one example. There are countless people like this in our tradition who was embracing of the world embracing rather than world denying.
But the reality is that the world needs to embrace that a lot of what the West was pitching or telling us, we already knew.
Absolutely.
We had those knowledge systems we want to revive.
Like Pythagoras' theorem, for instance, is Buddhana's theorem. We are now pushing these ideas.
Buddhana's theorem, yeah.
दो चीज है
हाँ जी।
आनंद भैया, पहले हम लोगों ने वो वक्त भी देखा जिस वक्त में राम के दर्शन करने पर रुदन होता था। चर्चा राम पर है तो दो शब्द बता रहा हूं। तुलसी का पत्ता पहुंचते पहुंचते बासा हो जाता था। टेंट फटा हो तो मजिस्ट्रेट की परमिशन लेनी पड़ती थी उसको सही कराने के लिए। 3 महीना लगे, 6 महीना लगे। हम लोगों के लिए राम डिफरेंट है, जगत का पालनहार है। कृष्ण से राम से सीखा जाए कि मर्यादा में रहना कैसे है, और कृष्ण बताता है मर्यादा में रखना कैसे है। पहले होता था कि ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र बाजत पैजनिया, परिवर्तन हुआ है, चलता है धमक चलत रामचंद्र कापत लंकनिया। थोड़ा सा परिवर्तन हुआ है। यह सनातन का ही ताकत है। जहां नचिकेता अपने पिता से प्रश्न करता है कि यज्ञ उपरांत गाय किसको दीजिएगा, ब्राह्मणों को, और ब्राह्मण जाति नहीं है, ज्ञान तप और वैराग्यता का कोई प्रतीक है तो वो ब्राह्मण है, शूरवीरता का कोई प्रतीक है तो क्षत्रिय है, अपने कार्य से देश को प्रगति कराए तो वो वैश्य है, और अपनी सेवाओं से सबको मंत्र मुग्ध रखे वो शूद्र। और वर्तमान वर्ण भी अपभ्रंश है, मैं पहले बता चुका हूं, इसलिए दोबारा करता हूं, लोग पकड़ना चाहते होंगे शब्द। आज की स्थिति नचिकेता जैसी ही है। प्रश्न पूछो लोग बचते हैं कि गाय किसको दीजिएगा, ब्राह्मण को, अग्नि किसको दीजिएगा, अग्निहोत्रियों को, तेल किसको दीजिएगा, तेलियों को। यह हम लोगों की परंपरा रही है। वर्तमान की परिस्थिति निसंदेह हम लोगों के लिए स्वर्णिम काल जैसा है, मगर मेरी चिंता इससे थोड़ा सा इत्र और भविष्य की है। आज सब कुछ ठीक है, सनातन को समझने वाले लोग हैं। मैं कभी भविष्य में अपने जीवन काल में इस तरह के संवाद को नहीं देखा, नहीं देखा मैंने। आज देख रहा हूं। भविष्य को लेकर चिंता यह है कि आज सब बेहतर है, ठीक है, भविष्य में जब नहीं होगा तब क्या होगा?
तब क्या होगा?
क्योंकि ग्राउंड जो कहता है
जी,
वो बहुत 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 विपरीत है,
जी,
इत्र है उससे।
जी।
वर्तमान जो स्थिति है वो उससे बिल्कुल अलग है, मगर हमें लगता है कि यूनाइट रहने से, संघे शक्ति कलयुग है, कलयुग में संघ की ही ताकत है, यूनाइट होने की ताकत है, एकता की ही ताकत है।
फाइनल वर्ड हरिशंकर जैन जी, बिकॉज आई हैव गॉट टू वाइंड अप। इज दिस एस्पेक्ट ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी, क्यों एंड क्यों नहीं?
देखिए ऐसा
जब जब समाज में युवा पीढ़ी प्रश्न पूछना शुरू करती है और जानने की इच्छा रखती है, दैट मीन्स इट्स वेलकम. If somebody goes to Ram Mandir tomorrow and sees the kind of work that's been done at the Nagara Shaili and however it's being built, they go to Somnath, they go to Kashi Vishwanath, they go wherever they go, there is a certain sense of pride and wanting to know. जब and then उससे फिर वो लगाव, अपनापन आता है. आप मानेंगे that people are asking this question? जी.
It is very easy to say that India is inherently Hindu country. What is the Hindu country inherently है? पर Constitution में कहाँ लिखा है?
हाँ.
तो my endeavor is it should be written in the constitution कि we are Hindu country. Number one, राम कृष्ण शिव और शक्ति, चार चीजें इस देश की आत्मा हैं. उनको हम अलग नहीं कर सकते. आपने सुना होगा, कंकड़ कंकड़ से पूछूं मैं, कोई बता दे मेरा शंकर कहाँ है.
शंकर कहाँ है?
कंकड़ कंकड़
कंकड़ से पूछूं.
कहावत पुरानी चली आ रही है.
जी.
तो राम मंदिर तो हमको मिल गया, और राम मंदिर का मतलब हुआ कि नए राष्ट्र मंदिर का निर्माण. शुरू से मैं कहता रहा हूँ. अब लड़ाई चल रही है काशी मथुरा की, और जब तक काशी मथुरा नहीं ले लेंगे तब तक चैन से नहीं बैठेंगे. और इसके बाद थर्ड स्टेज पर शुरू भी है और काम भी चल रहा है. जितने मंदिर टूटे हैं भूतकाल में, किसी के द्वारा, मैं नाम नहीं ले रहा हूँ,
हाँ.
उन मंदिरों को वापस लेना. वो देश की आत्मा है. जब तक मंदिर वापस नहीं आएंगे तब तक यहाँ पर आत्मबल नहीं आएगा.
आत्मबल नहीं आएगा.
और ये शुरुआत राम मंदिर से हो चुकी है.
और इसी के संदर्भ में हम लोग भी जो है, कश्मीर में जितने मंदिर हैं, जो पुराने हमारे मंदिर हैं, जिनको डेड मंदिर कहा गया है कि इधर पूजा नहीं हो सकती या ASI को दे रखा है, उन सब को हम वापस लेने का हमने पूरा मुहिम कर रखा है. और अभी 2019 से नहीं, 2019 से पहले, जबकि पूरा विरोध था हमारे लिए, तब भी हम लोग कर रहे हैं. और अगले साल हमें उम्मीद है दुशहरा हम कश्मीर में ही मनाएंगे, इन्हीं में से 3-4 पुराने मंदिरों पे, जो बिल्कुल पहाड़ों के अंदर हैं, जंगल में हैं, उधर कोई जाता नहीं है. हमें कहा जाता है इस्लामिक स्टेट है, हम नहीं मानते. ये हमारे हजारों साल पुराना हिंदुओं का हमारा धरोहर है, और उसे हम वापस लेके ही रहेंगे. और हमें कोई शर्म नहीं है इस बात की, जो हमारा है.
Right.
और उसे nobody should deny that to us.
Right. So that was perhaps the conviction with which Ram also crossed all of Bharat and then went across to Sri Lanka or towards Lanka or Ravan's land, because he believed that his cause was just. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this engaging conversation, we've got to pause because we've run over time. Hope you enjoyed listening to such erudite, august and of course learned gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. Namaste.
المدنيين لا تقتصر فقط الرؤية المصرية فيه على المدنيين من الفلسطينيين. مصر أيضا بكل هذا الدور الذي تطلع به أيضا من منطق إنساني، هي لا تفرق، يعني كل الدم حرام بالنسبة للرؤية المصرية. وبالتالي هاتان إسرائيليتان الآن تنجح الجهود المصرية في الإفراج عنهم
اللازمة.
دعنا نشير محمد إلى أن التفاوض في مثل هذه الظروف يكون بالغ الصعوبة، وهذا يرشح لأن الجهود المصرية كانت مكثفة وعملت على مسارات متزاوية يعني متزامنة ومتوازنة بشكل كبير ما بين كل الأطراف للوصول إلى هذه اللحظة بوصول سيدتين إسرائيليتين محتجزتين، كانتا محتجزتين في قطاع غزة والآن هم في الأراضي المصرية.
وينحو تدريجيا نحو فكرة أن هناك طرفا آخر
القداسة عادة ولا يستعمله الدبلوماسيون، يقولون مثلا نرحب به، ولكن هذا التعبير يدل بالفعل على أن الولايات المتحدة ترى في ذلك مؤشرا جيدا عن ذلك بشكل صريح. ولكن هناك طلبات أمريكية أو استعملت وسائل الإعلام الأمريكية لفظ نصائح أمريكية.
We are very emotional and happy of the formal announcement that my grandmother Yocheved Lifshitz and Nurit Cooper, both of them from Kibbutz Nir Oz, are coming back to us due to a humanitarian act.
אני פה בים סוף ואנחנו מצפים להם
And I'm very excited as we all are here expecting them and expecting more improvements to all of the captives from our kibbutz and in general, and we just hope that she is okay and in good health.
שבריאותה טובה.
We will go see her now.
אנחנו ניסע עכשיו לראות אותה. אני יודע שהיא עברה
I know she crossed in the Red Cross vehicle from Hamas, then crossed the Rafah border in the Egyptian side, and now she's supposed to cross over to us to the Israeli side.
דיברו איתה, היא דיברה, ואנחנו ממש בקרוב מחכים לראות אותה.
They talked to her and she spoke, and very soon we will see her, meet her, and unite with her. And we hope that this will open a door for the rest of the captives to be released, which is most important, even more than their release.
זה רק פתח והמשך.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Perspective. I'm Anand Narsimhan. We turn the spotlight towards the opposition, ladies and gentlemen, this committee of contradictions, as someone said and called it, this alliance of 26 parties. And they have a very, very interesting acronym that they've been able to bring together with the Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. So they were trying to appropriate INDIA or India and calling themselves the India Alliance, as the BJP calls it, or they themselves call themselves the India grouping. But are they really focused on leading the nation towards a direction which they believe will be better than the current government and the current disposition? Or is this alliance like in the past, whenever there has been a Mahagathbandhan, etc., and every time the Lok Sabha elections come around over the last decade, this grouping comes together and then it all fizzles out even before it gathers steam or stands up on its legs? Which way is it going? And especially with the recent comments that came from the likes of Akhilesh Yadav. Listen in to differing points of view, and then we'll go across to our guests on this very special edition.
कांग्रेस पार्टी को साफ करना चाहिए था। मेरा मानना यह है कि अगर आपको सीट नहीं देनी थी तो समाजवादियों से बात नहीं करनी चाहिए थी। आपको पहला ही कदम ये उठा लेना चाहिए था कि आप अपना संगठन और अपनी पार्टी के हिसाब से लड़िए, और जो सहयोग चाहते वो बता देते तो शायद समाजवादी पार्टी सहयोग करती और खड़ी रहती। इंडिया गठबंधन अब मुझे पता लगा है मध्य प्रदेश के बाद भारत के चुनाव के लिए है, इंडिया के चुनाव के लिए है, देश के चुनाव के लिए है। तो देश का चुनाव आएगा तब बात की जाएगी, और जिसको सीट चाहिए होगी या जिस पे बातचीत होगी वो अलग प्लेटफॉर्म है।
हम लोगों ने आगे बढ़कर इनको घोषी में समर्थन किया था, साथ दिया, बिना समर्थन मांगे समर्थन दिया था, चुनाव जीते, भारी मतों से हमारे कांग्रेस के लोग कार्यकर्ताओं ने साथ दिया। इसी प्रकार आप आगे भी मध्य प्रदेश में जाकर समर्थन करिए, कांग्रेस को जिताइए, यही उनसे आग्रह निवेदन मैंने किया था। पर उसके बाद उन्होंने मेरे बारे में जो शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया, मैं फिर भी उनसे निवेदन करूँगा, यही हाथ जोड़कर प्रार्थना करूँगा कि भाई आप कांग्रेस को समर्थन करिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हराना है मध्य प्रदेश में तो साथ आइए।
Can defeat BJP be the objective of an opposition which should have, or which is supposed to be, the conscience keeper of the government? So, and someone is befuddled when someone like of a stature of a former chief minister says that when we sat there, we never knew that this was going to be only about Lok Sabha elections and nothing more than that. Let's go across to Javed Ansari, senior journalist, Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, Anand Ranganathan, author and commentator, and Arun Anand, again author and columnist. Namaste and Jai Hind to all of you, gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. I'm in quite august company and very lucky to have all of you having this conversation. So let's start with Javed ji. Javed ji, ये हर बार खिचड़ी अलग तरीके से पकाते हैं, फिर लास्ट में फेल हो जाता है, ये ऐसा तो नहीं लग रहा?
Well, if you go by the noises emanating, this is extremely undercooked. It is far from cooked. It's far from a done deal. Doesn't enthuse too many people going forward, because all this could have been hammered out, could have been sorted out. If the Congress party wants seats in UP, where it is by all accounts the weakest link in the India alliance, then it needs to accommodate. There are no free lunches in politics. It needs to accommodate the SP and the other parties in the states where it is strong. Yes, the SP was asking for 6 states, 6 seats. You don't give them 6, but at least give them 4. You need to adjust. They had won a seat in Madhya Pradesh, the one that they were asking, and they're asking for seats where they were second. So if there has to be a formula on which you can in an ideal world, this should not have been happening. There are a lot of contradictions and a lot of gaps, and this will really challenge the political wisdom and sagacity and political management skills of the India Alliance leadership, that they need to bridge all this before the 24 elections, Lok Sabha elections. At the moment, it doesn't look too great.
One of the publications in the language publications also said, even in Uttar Pradesh, Ajay Rai of the Congress is of the opinion that we don't need the Samajwadi Party at all. We'll fight alone even for Lok Sabha. If that's the case, why be a part of all of this, Rashid Kidwai? आप तो मध्य प्रदेश से हैं.
And a teacup. It's basically posturing by Samajwadi Party. The alliance, that India alliance, that we understand, is only for Lok Sabha elections. Remember, alliance politics in India is done from a position of strength. The moment if Congress wins in a couple of states, 3 states or so, its stature will become bigger for 24, and then everything will settle down. However, in the event of poor showing in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, perhaps even Chhattisgarh, Congress failure to win Telangana is going to make this alliance politics far more difficult. Alliances are generally formed post-election. This is being done pre-Lok Sabha election. But alliances in India have a long and checkered history of having this kind of ideological contradictions, personality clashes, etc. You look at 1977, you look at 1989, when the left and the right, the BJP and the left parties were supporting VP Singh government. So that's been a history and legacy of this alliance. So I don't read too much into it. I don't think the Congress had to accommodate Samajwadi Party, because in a tight election, even the seats of 2 or 3 are always subject to poaching, etc. So I think the Congress is very wise. It's blowing up to its strength in Madhya Pradesh, and they will see after whatever the outcome of elections are.
But then why not be clear about it, Arun Anand? Why can't the Congress Party or Anand Ranganathan, why can't the Congress Party be clear? Listen, states where we are strong, we want to go it alone.
Anand, you asked 2 very pertinent questions, and both are almost delving on the philosophical bent of the way we would like to address politics in India. The first question that you asked was, in this quest to defeat Modi, is this the only end all and be all of the India alliance? And the second question that you asked was that where is it thinking long term? So if I may, I would like to make 3 points here, because I think all 3 of them are going to address these 2 questions quite comprehensively, if I may say. So number 1, you see, India, had said Rahul Gandhi, is not a nation but a union of states. And India alliance is indeed not for the nation but a union of corrupt, immoral, sectarian, communal states. And before you jump on me or anybody else does, this is not me saying it, but rather Congress itself. Now let me explain this. Congress wants to save the life of democracy in India by teaming up with Mamata Banerjee, who it blames for the death of democracy in Bengal. Congress wants to rid corruption in India by teaming up with Pinarayi Vijayan, who it blames for the 100 crore camera scam in Kerala. Congress wants to purge sectarianism in India by teaming up with Bhagwant Mann, who it blames for appeasing Khalistanis in Punjab. Congress wants to rid terror appeasement in India by teaming up with Stalin, who it blames for felicitating Rajiv Gandhi's killer in Tamil Nadu. Congress wants to remove sleaze from India, wants to eradicate Mafia Raj from India by teaming up with Akhilesh, who it blames for Mafia Raj in UP. Congress wants to eradicate communalism in India by teaming up with Indian Union Muslim League, who it blames for riots and evil deeds. Congress wants to end separatism in India by teaming up with Mehbooba Mufti, who it blames for betraying people in Kashmir. Congress wants to eradicate horse trading in India by teaming up with Soren, who it blames for horse trading and arrest of its MLAs in Jharkhand. And Congress wants to imprint Savarkar as a coward, treacherous assassin on the collective memory of India by teaming up with Uddhav Thackeray, who wants to honor Savarkar with Bharat Ratna. And finally, Congress wants to eradicate misgovernance in India by teaming up with Kejriwal, who it blames for massive misgovernance in Delhi. How on earth, Anand, can one be so hypocritical in their quest for power? That's right, on earth you can't be, but probably on Jupiter you can. If India is a union of states, then by Congress's own logic, it doesn't mind India being a union of corrupt states. That is the reason. Now, very briefly, 1 minute, how do voters make a call in any election, Anand? Of course, one may say that it is based on caste, religion, ethnicity or personality of the candidate. There's truth in this, absolutely. But a rational voter would always go by performance, and for that there are indicators. Look at Tripura, just one small example, 30 seconds. In 9 years, BJP vote share has increased from 1% to 40%. Why? Because tap water connections have increased from 3% to 56% households. Because Ayushman Bharat increased from 1% to 60% families. Modi is delivering on his promises. Rahul is going back on his promises. like promising 3 farm laws and CAA, then promptly doing a U-turn. 2014 was a different kettle of fish for Modi because he was the contender, not the incumbent. 2019 was therefore his real test and he fared even better. People forget that Modi won 2019 by beating anti-incumbency.
But in the India alliance, do you have a particular political party which is a fulcrum? Because this whole thing came together because of Nitish Kumar's efforts. And then he was bumped off the seat. And now the Congress is saying, I will drive it. Till then it said, I will ride pillion. Or this is backseat driving happening. So, but somewhere there is no clarity. Then how is it that an Akhilesh Yadav, Arun Anand is coming out and saying कि ये तो पहले बताया ही नहीं था कि सिर्फ लोकसभा के लिए है. हम तो समझ के चले थे कि आने वाले जो राज्य के चुनाव है उसमें भी हम साथ में मिलकर लड़ेंगे. इतना तो एजेंडा फडल्ड नहीं हो सकता अरुण जी.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. See, the thing is that I will rephrase this whole,
question you have. I will try to rephrase. Actually, the contest is not on 542 seats. So let's be very clear. The opposition is very clear that they will not be able to unseat BJP or Narendra Modi in this election. All they want is basically that the BJP's tally should come down from 300 odd seats to somewhere around 220. So that's their target. तो आप जो इलेक्शन देखने जा रहे हैं, ये जो पूरा अपोजिशन का एक कॉम्बिनेशन बन रहा है, वो 100 सीटों के ऊपर एक यूनिफाइड कैंडिडेट खड़ा करने के लिए. So that is the whole exercise. Now, because the idea is only to defeat BJP and not I would say defeat BJP, they believe that then BJP would not be able to run a very strong government, and Narendra Modi is not the kind of personality that probably he might hang his boots. And there will be then bitter infighting within the BJP. So that's the game plan, to bring down the tally of the BJP from 300 odd seats to 220. तो इलेक्शन 100 सीटों का है बेसिकली. ये कॉम्बिनेशन सिर्फ उन 100 सीट पे यूनिफाइड कैंडिडेट खड़े करने के लिए बना है. बट this is a self-defeating exercise, I'm saying, because there is no alternative development plan which they are giving. Just to unseat the ruling party can be, of course, one very legitimate reason for opposition to come together. But the Indian public, they would like to see that what is your alternative development model. Now, when Modi had presented the Gujarat development model, people might agree or disagree with it. And of course, in BJP's manifesto also, there were some core issues like removal of Article 370, building of Ram Temple, Uniform Civil Code. So the ideological fulcrum was very clear. And Anand, as you were rightly saying, that not only this opposition alliance doesn't have a fulcrum in terms of a big political party or prime political force, they also don't have an ideological fulcrum, as so Ranganathan was also pointing out that there are contradictory people with contradictory ideologies. तो स्वार्थों के लिए बना हुआ कोई भी गठबंधन कभी भी स्थायी नहीं हो सकता. There would always be inherent contradictions.
And not just that, when it comes together like this, Rashid Kidwai, they will also cannibalize within. Coming to you, Anand, after this. And what happens is the scenario, the political landscape post 2024 will change, sir, because the census will happen, delimitation will happen. We will become a Lok Sabha of 880 plus seats, and there will be 33% reservation for women with the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. All these political parties for survival then will have to grapple, because the halfway number will change from 272 to 448.
Yes, Anand, I think politicians or political parties are far more smarter than us debating in a TV studio. You look at all political parties in these 5 election-bound states, how many seats or tickets they have given to women. Even a rough calculation would tell you not even 50. I mean, I'm being very, kind of extravagant when I say 15%. So obviously there is a lot of contradiction. Politicians, political parties, I again emphasize, they are far more practical, except for the left and the Congress and Samajwadi Party. Modern day Samajwadi Party, not its earlier avatars. See, they've had business with the BJP or the BJP and Jansangh, or the other way around. The BJP has done business with the DMK, with Trinamool, with JDU, with all political parties. So there is nobody. It is that circumstances that shape this alliance politics. throughout 1960s, 70s, 80s, all those decades, there was always, Nehru hatao, Indira hatao, Rajiv hatao. Those kind of campaigns are there. So if there is Modi hatao, from a very practical point of view, this is something, nothing has changed. If there is a political party or political leader who is very strong, who has a winnability, who is unmatched, invincible, then it's always a tendency of political parties to come together. To beat them. The BJP even had alliance with NC, with the TDP, all kind of political. I have no problem. Those who have a problem, they have to sort themselves out. Because look at even on the, I can go on giving a lot of on the economic issues. What was that BJP's stand on pension reforms? What was the BJP's response on nuclear deal when they were in opposition? And when they are in, or for that matter, the entire ambit of economic reforms conducted by Dr. Manmohan Singh. So they evolve, and this is a welcoming thing. I am not so dismissive about India alliance. Of course, all of us are entitled to this kind of thing, having a progressive agenda. This happens. The UPA, let's not forget it, Anand. Let me see. It got a even if it was run by remote control or whatever, it got a renewed mandate by the people of India. From 145, they went up to 206. So I am saying we must have some respect for sagacity of Indian voters.
No, there is respect, but times they are changing, and coalition compulsions always peg the country back, sir. There is
Who told you this?
Please allow me, sir.
Look at Kerala.
Please,
they've had, since 1967, they've been having alliance governments.
No, please allow me. Please allow me to complete. When I say coalition compulsions have pegged the country back, there are those who believe that there are coalition also helped the country. But larger argument is that the pace of reforms, the pace of pushing bills, legislations, bringing together, slowed down, especially if you did not have one very strong, robust party which had the numbers and the political muscle to get everybody else together. I'm not saying it's got to be a single party thing, but largely people have seen that when there is a party in control and it's decisive, then perhaps decision making is more decisive. On the other hand, I would like everybody in a democracy would want to see a robust opposition. We don't even have a leader of the house from the opposition or a leader of the opposition on the floor of our house, sir. We have leader of oppositions of each particular political party, but overall we don't have. It's a sorry state of affairs.
In 1967, we didn't have a leader of opposition.
No, but that was a sorry state of affairs, sir. It is not good. It is not healthy. Javed ji.
That we don't have a leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha is because they are too short of that number. You need to have 55 or 56, which they don't have. But they have a leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, and in the Rajya Sabha, the opposition is a far more cohesive unit, even where they don't have a leader of the opposition. In the Lok Sabha, they are pretty cohesive. They don't have a deputy speaker for a one-party rule. When you have a one-party rule, this is the kind of thing happens. It's been 5 years that we don't have a deputy speaker in parliament in the Lok Sabha.
But
why is that? So is that the kind of thing one-party rule also that leads to a kind of anti-democratic tendencies?
Sir, I totally agree. No particular party should have overwhelming brute majority there, but there needs to be a clear mandate and clear majority for things to move forward. But on the other hand, like I said, sir, that the left hand and right hand need to function together. The opposition also needs to be robust. My final comments and round of conversation is beyond 2024, if parties are going to say, I am happy to go from 50 to 80, 80 is not enough to be leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha in 2029, because that number will change, sir. It will jump from 55 to it will go clearly go up to 106, 107, if not more. Once delimitation happens, the seat breakup will also change, the construct will change, a lot of things on the political landscape will change. Is the opposition today even thinking on those grounds? If they are saying कि 2024 में मोदी को कमजोर करना है या बीजेपी को कमजोर करना है, तो 29 के लिए अपने आप को मजबूत कर रहे हैं कि नहीं? That's the latter half. That's the more important part. And what's my mandate? Defeat BJP cannot be my mandate. Defeat BJP can be the mandate for us to come together. But we have to go to and take a better story to the people. We are not even able to do that in this case. In 3 states, we are coming apart. How are we going to work together across 28 states and plus union territories? Anand Ranganathan.
No, it's a fantastic debate discussion thus far. Anand, I congratulate you for it. couple of points that maybe I can glean from what my previous erudite panelists said. One was, you see, I don't think there is any contention or disagreement on the fact that every political party and every politician is hypocritical and corrupt. That's not the debate out here. We ourselves have accused not only the BJP but Mr. Narendra Modi for teaming up, inducting corrupt people in his party. The latest being Ajit Pawar, who he himself accused of being corrupt and perpetrating a 70,000 crore scam, and then next day he is teaming up and forming a government. So that's not the debate here. The debate is what, if I can use the catchphrase used by the previous panelists, Modi hatao. So now let me don the hat of Rahul Gandhi and go to the people for Modi hataoing. What would I say? Modi ko hatao because he gave you 120 million toilets? Will I say that? Will I say Modi ko hatao because he gave you 170 million gas cylinders? Because he gave you 260 million Ayushman cards? Because he gave you 500 million Jan Dhan accounts? Because 120 million of you are right now staying in the houses built by Narendra Modi, isliye Modi ko hatao? Will I say this?
No, Modi ko hatao is one aspect. Kyun hatao is the answer you got to give, because I've got a better plan. That's the only way you can turn around and say, what is my better plan and how am I going to do it? How am I going to get all of these people together and who's going to lead them? Because it was supposed to be Nitish Kumar, he is not. It is not Rahul Gandhi is what Rahul Gandhi says, but it must be Rahul Gandhi, somebody else who says. It must be Uddhav Thackeray, somebody else is saying. A third person is saying, no, Sharad Pawar is the best person, Arun Anand. Final comment. So amongst all this, where is the larger, broader plan?
I think there are three things which are required for any party to score victory, and especially if you are in opposition. And that is what BJP did. One is that you need to have a clear-cut ideological roadmap. Second is that you need to back it by a strong organization cadre. And when I say cadre, it is not merely members. Members trained over a period of time in different political programs, so they become your cadres. And unless you have a clear-cut ideological roadmap, you won't have cadres also, because cadres need to know what are they standing for, what are they fighting for. Ultimately, they're not paid workers. Cadres are volunteers, basically, who get to your party, who join your party because they believe in something.
Right.
But they believe in when you say believe in something, what is that something? So I think one is that something is missing. I think they need to find out what that something is. That something cannot be basically, attack Adani, attack X, attack Y, attack Z. You need to have something positive, something affirmative, something aspirational which you can offer to people of the country. So one is that. And second is so the organizational cadre, the ideological program, and then you also need to have a towering leader, a motivational leader, and who can lead from the front, who is leader of the masses. See, let me tell you, the elections in Lok Sabha are not not related to the mathematics, as you had earlier also mentioned, Anand, that and now I think up to some extent the BSP is the only party which can transfer a part of its vote to the other section, to the other parties if they are in alliance. Otherwise, the votes do not just get aggregated. It's not simple mathematics. It's question about chemistry.
Yeah.
And as far as when it comes to the question of chemistry, we know that there is no bigger leader than Narendra Modi in this country, and the rest of the leaders, they are not even a match. So the roadmap ahead is long and tough, and you need to do a lot of hard work if you are in opposition. You need to get your ideological cobwebs removed. And mind you, Congress has moved hard left of the center, and that is hurting it the most. I think that is the first thing they need to do if they want to do the course correction.
No, very well said. The ideological shift is quite evident as far as the Congress is concerned, but somewhere one believes that you need to have a strong fulcrum. You need to be the magnet that everybody gravitates to, not the, and you have to have the right pole to attract. Opposite poles don't attract, but otherwise, if you've got the current going everywhere else and everybody does not want to have any truck with you, then we have a serious problem. Gentlemen, thank you very much. 26-27 minute कैसे निकल के समझ में नहीं आया. Always a pleasure speaking with all of you. We should have more engagements and conversations on this line. Thank you very much. Namaste, sir. Thank you.
יופדת ליפשיץ. 85. What's your name?
It's okay, let's go. It's okay? Let's go.
Yes.
You go with this one.
Shalom. Shalom.
Okay. You go with this lady. I'll go with the other.
أيضا مزدوج كجنسية هاتين المحتجزتين. الجزء الأول من المعنى هو أنه هناك جهود تبذل مع جميع الأطراف.
صحيح.
وأنه هذه الجهود لها ثمار. هذه ثمرة من ثمار هذه الجهود.
هذا نابع من الثقة التي بنتها
صحيح.
القاهرة على مدار سنوات وعقود بالمناسبة محمد، يعني هذا ليس وليد الأزمة ولا وليد الأحداث والتطورات، هذا هو الدور التاريخي المصري الذي القاهرة اطلعت به وحملته على عاتقها طوال عقود طويلة يكافح فيها الشعب الفلسطيني
وعدم قطع
دخولهم إلى الأراضي المصرية عبر معبر رفح.
لكن المعنى الآخر الأكثر أهمية في رأيي من كل ذلك أنه هناك ثمار تجنى، هذه الثمار يمكن استغلالها
طبعا
لإقناع الطرف الدماء الآن في المشهد الذي نتابعه، المشهد
صحيح.
شديد الإيلام، لإقناعه بأنه يعني عليه أن يهدئ من روعه بعض الشيء.
وبالمناسبة أتوقع أن يكون هناك جولات أخرى من جولات الإفراج عن المحتجزين في قطاع غزة، خاصة في ظل الضغط الذي يواجه رئيس الحكومة نتنياهو. مصر تقرأ المشهد بشكل كبير، وبالتالي الحق في الحياة والحق أيضا في أن يكون.
كان قد تم احتجازهما في قطاع غزة منذ بدء الأزمة إلى الدولة المصرية من خلال النجاح في الإفراج عن هاتين السيدتين المدينتين بعد وصولهما إلى الأراضي المصرية عبر منفذ رفح البري.
مصطفى، شكرا جزيلا لك. مصطفى عبد الفتاح، موفد القاهرة الإخبارية عند الجانب المصري من معبر رفح البري. إذن رغدة، وكما تابعنا في نقل حصري لوصول المحتجزتين إلى الأراضي المصرية،
حماية المدنيين لا تقتصر فقط الرؤية المصرية فيه على المدنيين من الفلسطينيين. مصر أيضا بكل هذا الدور الذي تطلع به أيضا من منطق إنساني، هي لا تفرق، يعني كل الدم حرام بالنسبة للرؤية المصرية، وبالتالي هاتان إسرائيليتان الآن تنجح الجهود المصرية في الإفراج عنهم
اللازمة.
دعنا نشير محمد إلى أن التفاوض في مثل هذه الظروف يكون بالغ الصعوبة، وهذا يرشح لأن الجهود المصرية كانت مكثفة وعملت على مسارات متزاوية يعني متزامنة ومتوازنة بشكل كبير ما بين كل الأطراف للوصول إلى هذه اللحظة بوصول سيدتين إسرائيليتين محتجزتين، كانتا محتجزتين في قطاع غزة والآن هم في الأراضي المصرية
وينحو تدريجيا نحو فكرة أن هناك طرفا آخر عادة ولا يستعمله الدبلوماسيون، يقولون مثلا نرحب به، ولكن هذا التعبير يدل بالفعل على أن الولايات المتحدة ترى في ذلك مؤشرا جيدا عن ذلك بشكل صريح، ولكن هناك طلبات أمريكية أو استعملت وسائل الإعلام الأمريكية لفظ نصائح أمريكية.
We are very emotional and happy of the formal announcement that my grandmother Yocheved Lifshitz and Nurit Cooper, both of them from Kibbutz Niraz, are coming back to us due to a humanitarian act.
אני פה בים סוף ואנחנו מצפים להם
And I'm very excited as we all are here expecting them and expecting more improvements to all of the captives from our kibbutz and in general, and we just hope that she is okay and in good health.
שבריאותה טובה.
We will go see her now.
אנחנו ניסע עכשיו לראות אותה. אני יודע שהיא עברה
I know she crossed in the Red Cross vehicle from Hamas, then crossed the Rafah border in the Egyptian side, and now she's supposed to cross over to us to the Israeli side.
דיברו איתה, היא דיברה, ואנחנו ממש 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 בקרוב מחכים לראות אותה.
They talked to her and she spoke, and very soon we will see her, meet her, and unite with her. And we hope that this will open a door for the rest of the captives to be released, which is most important, even more than their release.
זה רק פתח והמשך.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the special broadcast. I'm Anusha Soni. Our top focus this hour continues to be the war in West Asia. As the war between Israel and Hamas continues, French President Emmanuel Macron is in Tel Aviv for the solidarity visit. Macron met Prime Minister Netanyahu and assured the support of France to Israel. Netanyahu has also reiterated that elimination of Hamas is their main objective. Israeli Defense Minister said that